Buenas tardes from beautiful Barrio Huanuca in Matagalpa, Nicaragua. I wanted to give you guys an update on the shipping options for bringing your stuff here. I'm not talking about your household good stuff, the stuff that you should be drilling down and removing as much as possible so you only bring down necessities, but things like if you are still dependent on making Amazon orders, for example, or from your favorite merchant store, say Best Buy or another service like that. Products that you would have sent to you through FedEx or the UPS. So those direct services are not readily available to us here in Nicaragua. We rely on what's called a third-party carrier. If you've watched our buddies' episodes from Scott Allen Miller, he talks a lot about third-party shipping, and I have a particular favorite, so I'm going to be focusing on the one that I've been using successfully now for about a month. The company is called Envious Fast Track. So what does a third-party shipper do? A third-party shipper will have you take your orders that are in the United States, send them to a centralized location, primarily in Miami or the Miami area, and then they will utilize a service of either by air or by ship to bring them to your country's destination. In this situation, Envious Fast Track has offices in the Miami area. Most of these companies will do so, and they've all kind of strategically put themselves about halfway between the Miami airport and the Porto of Miami. So because you have those two options, so they're all pretty much neighbors of each other with competitive rates. I've seen the ship route, the Maritimo, at pretty much consistently $3 a pound. So a lot of things we have here would have a potential VAT tax of 15%. Some items could be higher if they were rare electronics. And it's also subject to the value determined by aduana, which is customs here. So the legitimate workaround, the preferred way of doing this is you deal with people who are already well-versed, trained, seasoned, and ingrained inside the transport industry. And they've calculated, for simplicity, their cost of business by poundage. So you were looking at $3 a pound to go by boat, and I'm looking at $7.50 a pound for something to go by air. Coincidentally, the times advertised is a few days, which so far has been about a week for airmail, and 2 to 3 weeks by ship. You'll hear other people say sometimes 4 to 6 weeks. I've had one delivery so far by maritime, and it took exactly 3 weeks. So kudos on that. So with this, I tested this out with my first two orders. I had a higher end computer hub for my Apple system that I wanted here. Didn't want it sitting on a boat for potentially a month. Wanted to test the water, so to speak, with the airplane. So it was a 4-pound package at $7.50 a pound. Do the math, we're looking at about $30. And I got it here in 6 days' time. So how that worked, I ordered my product from Amazon. You go ahead and you give Amazon these alternative addresses in the United States, so they ship there instead of your home. From there, they took it by plane to the capital of Nicaragua, Managua, and at that point, they will contact you to let you know that it's in the central office. How would you like it dispersed? You have options. You could go to Managua and pick it up from their central office right off the top. That would cost you no additional fees. You can send it by way of the chicken buses. The chicken buses are express routes that are happening either every half hour to hour, and they do put package transit on there, so they're kind of like a Pony Express, only they're the chicken bus express. And packages will be either strapped to the roof or in the back of the vehicle, and they'll distribute them at bus stops along the way. So if I wanted these to be delivered at the bus stops here in Matagalpa, I could have it at no additional cost on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Personally, I'm not a fan of the idea because the third option is you can have it sent to an additional address within the city for an additional cost. I choose to send it to a partner organization known as Cargo Trans. Now, Cargo Trans does do internal, external delivery services, primarily in country. They do advertise they do services outside of country. I haven't used that yet. But the Cargotrans office is a whopping 6 blocks from my apartment. So I had the mail out of the Aero shipment. Again, 6 days, about $30 to get a 4-pound box sent to me. And I received an email from Envious Fast Track when they were in receipt of my product in Miami. I received an email when it had arrived in Managua. And then they asked me to confirm how I wanted it dispersed. So they do not take credit card. There is no direct payment to them physically. You either go to a Nicaraguan bank, and if you've heard me talk before, those are long lines, but you can go to convenience stores and think of like the Western Union stops that you see in the gas stations. They have bill pay systems here, which are end-to-end encrypted, very fast, very efficient. People send money to each other. They send remittances back to the States. They pay their electric, they pay their water, they pay shipping bills, and it's a very fast and effective way of doing things. So once I get confirmation the product is in the capital in Managua and Envious Fast Track sends an email to me confirming, they then send me a picture of the package that they have received, and it's got a piece of paper on it with all the vital information. My information, who the point of contact is with Envious Fast Track, and such. They will then send me information, and it doesn't change. So I've had it on more than one text message. And by the way, we do this through WhatsApp. We don't do traditional email, traditional text messaging. You do all your communication down here through WhatsApp. So I'll get the text message through WhatsApp from Envious Fast Track listing the different account numbers that I can make a deposit to for payment. So they give you 3-4 bank options if you want to pay in dollars, and they give you 3-4 bank option account numbers if you want to pay in Cordoba. Then there is an email and a point of contact name to confirm that these are the accounts affiliated with that person. You get that information and you request the total dollar amount or Cordoba amount for your purchase. Go to the local convenience store. My closest one is 3 blocks away. I also have one near right around the corner from where I go to class. So I've been using the one by class in the morning because it kind of coincides with when I get a confirmation of something being in Managua. And then I pay. So I go inside, I show them my ID card, which here in Nicaragua is my cedula, now that I have a residency. Prior to that, I would have shown my passport as an official ID. They gather your local phone number. They take down the information for the cedula. They confirm the dollar amount or Cordoba amount that you need to pay. They collect the money from you. They give you a receipt. You see an instantaneous transaction. You sign the receipt, and you're done with the payment. I turn back around. I take a picture of the receipt. I send it to Envious Fast Track as confirmation I just sent the payment. They get a near instant confirmation they've received the payment. And at that point, I'm just waiting to go over to Cargotrans, which again is 6 blocks from my apartment, to pick up my goods. So I thought my computer monitor was going to be available today. It was not. I got the confirmation this morning. I made payment this morning, but the shipment had not arrived yet. So it'll be in Cargotrans tomorrow. A very simple process. So a very high-end computer monitor that I didn't want to put on a boat for up to a month. Here in a week's time by airmail at $7.50 a pound, so it was a little bit of money. The shipping was about 20% equal to the cost of the monitor, and I'll have my new monitor here tomorrow. So great stuff to have. Just to give you an idea, so again, the first order I did was the mail order 4-pound package, $7.50 a pound, delivered to Matagalpa's Cargotrans, ran me right at $30. There was an additional $1 per pound to have it delivered to Cargotrans, so I actually paid $34 for the convenience. Not a problem. The second order I made, I had an additional air order, and I had my first boat order. Because they coincided so closely, I was asked, do you want to consolidate the delivery of these two? Had I not, I would have had to have paid a higher rate for the air order, but because they bundled them together for the final delivery, I got them both delivered together in a larger box, all wrapped together, and it saved me a little bit of money. So instead of paying the $7.50 a pound for the port that was the air mail, it was 7.5 pounds. I got charged $6.50 a pound, and then a one-time fee of $7.10 for the delivery to Matagalpa. I saved about $2 in the process. I mean, it's $2 saved. The order by boat, the maritime order, which was 13 pounds and $3 a pound, was a flat rate. It's over the 20-pound limit, so there is no shipping cost attached to it. So it was just a flat $39. Got them both picked up together. I walked back with the 35 pounds of boxes because I wasn't able to hail a cab at the time. But I got those back here, and my products were undamaged. Everything worked well, and the delivery time on that. So my first order by boat took 3 weeks. The air order actually sat for a couple days to be consolidated, which I wasn't worried about. So the computer monitor I just ordered by air, 6-day delivery. So this has been a success consistently so far with the 3-4 orders I've had so far, and I have 4 more orders pending with them. So they have all the tracking numbers, they have ETAs of when to expect these products to be in Miami, and whether they put them on a boat tomorrow or they put them on a boat in a week, the instructions will be consolidate all of these maritime orders, and I'll do one pickup in Matagalpa at the Cargo Trans office. And because I'm looking probably at about 40 pounds of gear on that one, I'm going to ask Cargo Trans to do delivery 6 blocks away versus me trying to get a cab and trying to get everything carried over to the apartment. I do not know Cargo Trans rate yet, but even if it's $20, it's $20 saves me peace of mind to get like 4 large boxes. Actually, it's closer to like 8 mid-size boxes, but I'm guessing to be about 45 to 50 pounds worth of stuff coming in over the next few weeks. So that'll be the official test of Cargo Trans local delivery service, and I may very well use them as an ad hoc for the Florida to Managua shipping as well. One of our friends on the WhatsApp group has been using them directly. He didn't have an appreciation for the Envious Fast Track system, and he found some benefit to going directly with Cargo Trans, which is great. I'm glad everything's worked out for all the people involved. But so far, this has been the shipping company I've used, and so far I have 0 complaints. Everything has worked out well. There's been no damage to property. Everything's shown up relatively on time. I did have a couple-day delay over the Memorial Day weekend with shipping. And then you're also subject if there's weather problems with deliveries elsewhere. So like when Tennessee has weather problems and FedEx gets affected or UPS gets affected in hub towns, that's going to affect your total delivery time to Miami. But we really don't see delays by boat, even though it's got to go from the port of Miami through the Panama Canal back up the coast to Corinto, which is the northwestern tip of the country bordering El Salvador, versus the airmail going from Miami International Airport to Managua International Airport. And even air travel isn't same day. It's a couple days of process because it's got to go through customs. It's got to be, base level inspection. Then it's got to be palletized for air transport, put on a plane, depalletized, verify that there's no hazardous materials, things like that, before it's released to the vendor. So just a quick shout out on our process of getting things here. Again, this doesn't deal with getting household goods. I still have household goods that I'll be sending down. I do have my residency now, so it's a matter of when I have a larger home, I will utilize the tax exemption that comes with that, and or possibly purchasing a shipping container. I have about a half of a 20-foot container's worth of equipment to bring down. I may very well start piecemealing some of that down here through Envious Fast Track by boat, repackaging some things at $3 a pound. I can get some of my synthesizers down here that would not be considered household goods. And maybe I pay $100 in shipping to get a few pieces of musical gear here. The hard one I'm looking at is I have a full music rack that's probably close to 150 to 200 pounds. So shipping that even by boat, I'm looking at probably a good $700 in shipping costs. Luckily, it's on wheels. It's got handles. It's designed to go on a plane, but I can't pay $750 a pound for a 200-pound piece of equipment. I don't have that kind of money to be spent on transport. But this has been what's happened so far with me for Envious Fast Track. Again, great company so far. Looking forward to doing more business with them. I do not get any kind of paid endorsement for this. However, they do have a referral program. They asked me who I was referred by, and I told them it was Scott Allen Miller. They knew Scott's name because he has a very large presence on YouTube and such. But I'm not getting any promotion for this at this time. If I ever am going to be getting a promotion for it, I will disclose that information. I love supporting companies. Again, another one, Rich Cause, my Svengoolie shirt. If you're familiar with the Master of Horror from Chicago, he started in 1979. He's now broadcasted on Saturdays on the MeTV network. He's a host of old time and a couple modern horror films with a lot of shtick humor involved, and something I grew up with in Illinois and then finally started being shown down in Florida. Unfortunately, I don't have access to it while I'm down here, but I love supporting Rich and the stuff that he does, just like I showed you Sean Cross's artwork on the shirts from last week with the Anything's Necessary logo brands. And I will continue telling you about other great products that I've been using or companies that I find are of use. Almost 18 minutes in. Do want to give a thank you for those of you who are hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, who are sharing, telling folks. I'm looking at 4 months and change on this site. Now up to 80 subscribers. Thank you. Latest member was my acoustic engineer from Sweetwater Music, so shout out to Jared. I told him about this and he jumped right on it. And now that I can send equipment from them through the third-party carrier, I can now get music gear down here directly, and it's not a detriment financially, and it's just a little bit of waiting. So with that, I wish you all well. I will post at least 1 or 2 more episodes before I go back to the States for 2 weeks. So I'll probably record those ahead of time and release them while I'm gone. Maybe yes, maybe no. I am utilizing the VIP Salon Lounge at Managua on the way out as well as the way back. So that'll be a new one to report on. And this is my first time traveling with my travel visa as a resident of Nicaragua. So I'm curious to see how well this all plays out. Did get a private driver to the airport, which it's a little pricey considering the distance we're driving, but it's all going to work out and it gives peace of mind. So with that, again, thank you all for the likes and subscribes. Please share the information. Hope you find this valuable or potentially entertaining. And until next time, adios.